because that's colorful.
Okay.
We'll talk about the, you know, Mesmer did one thing and it's not very well known, and that is the fact that he was working with the aristocracy. So these women that he would have come to his let's say his secession room were rather very prominent people. And they came to Mesmer for help, but instead of making them feel like they were kind of on the spot, he elevated them. And he had a session room like a throwing chair.
Okay.
A throwing chair. He had the lady who came in sitting in the throne. So that right away boosted her confidence, and he sat down at her feet.
Isn't that something?
That's lovely.
That is.
That's lovely. And then because it changed the whole pattern, she didn't go, here I am, a very important woman in the court.
Right.
Maybe a friend of the queen, you know.
Right.
And I have to come to this mesmerist who I want him to work with me, but I don't want to feel like I'm submitting myself to something. So this way, she's elevated. She becomes the princess in the room.
Oh, okay.
And he becomes her servant. Wonderful psychology.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and that'll make a very good dramatization on television, and quite understandable.
Excellent. Now, Mesmer also produced, was it called the baguette, or what was the large area that he used to use to hypnotize people in?
Well, that was the bouquet.
Okay.
Yeah, Mesmer got so popular that he had about 3,000 people a week he was working with. And that's almost more than a man can handle, 1-to-1.
Right.
So he decided he would try an old thing that he picked up from ancient medicine called the bouquet.
Okay.
The bouquet was a tank filled with water, and in the water were all kinds of pieces of meat and roots and just a conglomeration. See, what actually was happening here, as you get decomposition, you get an energy, flow of energy. Oh. Yeah, so but instead of it being accepted by the medical profession, they were very jealous of Mesmer, because Mesmer was making all this money and so popular that here was a chance to say, well, he's now having them use witch and brew. But this scene here of the bouquet is interesting because it's historical. Yes. And it actually was the reason that Mesmer was sort of forced out of France. Because it gave the medical profession to say, well, kind of obviously he's not real. He's using the bouquet. What's been forgotten was the fact that the element of belief is very important. Right. They believed in this working. It worked. Right. So, but as this scene shows, the people were all gathered around the tank, and they had these rods going into it, receiving energy into their body, and all holding onto a rope.